Hello and welcome to pmclounge.com. My name is Shoaib. I'm the voice behind all the videos on this YouTube channel, youtube.com/pmclounge, as well as the pmclounge.com website. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Now, a question today that I wanted to take up was the same question that I had when I was reading the cost management knowledge area during my preparation of PMP, and that was the two processes: estimate costs and determine budget. What is the difference between the two? Because in estimate costs, you are estimating the cost of the entire project. So what are you doing in determine budget? What is the difference between estimates and the budget? That's the basic question. The difference between an estimate and a budget. What is the difference between the two? So now when you are in the first process, which is estimate costs, all you're doing is based on your scope of the project and based on the schedule of the project, you are coming up with an estimate of how much the entire project you think is going to cost. In the determine budget process, what you're doing is you're taking that estimate and you're going to the sponsor of the project and you're presenting him or her the estimate that you have for that project, along with the basis of estimates, which is also an output of the previous process, the estimate costs process. So you're taking the activity cost estimates and the basis of estimates to the sponsor. And let's take an example that for your project, the estimate activity costs for entire project comes out to be 120,000 US dollars. That's the estimate that you take to the sponsor. The sponsor goes over everything. He or she may have certain questions. You explain them the details and they approve the budget. Your project is going to take, let's say, 12 months. So your budget for 120,000 US dollars is approved. But how do you get that money? Do you get 10,000 US dollars every month for 12 months? Do you get 30,000 US dollars every quarter for the next 4 quarters? Or do you get money phase wise? Do you get a certain amount, let's say 30,000 US dollars for your design phase for the first 2 months? Then for your development, you get, let's say, 80,000 US dollars. For testing, you get 10,000 US dollars, something like that, right? So how do you get that money is something which comes as part of the determine budget process. One of the output of the determine budget process is funding requirements. So one of the output of this determine budget process, funding requirements, has all these details of how and when you're going to get the allocated budget. So that's the difference between the two. Estimate is the starting point. That is where you come up with the estimate about how much you think the project is going to cost. You take those estimates to the sponsor. The sponsor, if he or she approves for the entire estimates, you will have a budget allocated for your project. How and when you receive that amount is something which is part of the funding requirements, which is one of the output of the determine budget process. So that's the difference between estimate and budget. Estimate is just a number. Budget is what is allocated to you, to your project. So that's the difference. I hope it's clear. I hope you were able to understand the difference between these two processes. We are going to talk about determine budget process now. First link in the description will take you to the playlist of the entire cost management knowledge area. So do check that out. Second link is going to take you to all the FAQs, frequently asked questions related to cost management knowledge area that you may have. And that is all that I had in this video. Hope you learned something new. Do hit the like button if you enjoyed it. And don't forget to check out the website pmclounge.com, your #1 free PMP resource. Thank you and have a nice day.